Okay, so here's another match from the 1997 Canadian Grappling Championship, which was, well, at least the footage I have, is the Canadian national judo team versus just people. And in this case, it's a guy who's not wearing a shirt. Let's go. I believe this is a jiu-jitsu player on the bottom, because you can see he's trying to play a guard. He's actually doing a pretty good job. He's got a hold of the guy's sleeve. He's picking his ankle. You can hear, I don't know if you can hear it. I believe there's a Brazilian fellow shouting advice to him, maybe? You can see he's trying to go and try for a De La Riva guard situation here. I imagine right off the hop, the jiu-jitsu player pulled guard, and now the judo player is trying to pass. Now bear in mind, like, while passing guard is part of judo, judo doesn't have highly complicated guards. I mean, most judo players, when they're on the ground, just go straight onto their belly and wait for the referee to stand them up, which they will after just a few seconds, because judo is, you know, they don't allow a lot of groundwork. You know, if there's any downtime whatsoever, they just stand you up. Yeah, you can kind of hear a Brazilian fellow shouting advice to the, maybe he's yelling instructions, I don't know. See, hear that? Oh. I don't know why he stood them up again, but maybe he's a judo referee, you know? See? The jiu-jitsu guy pulled guard quite wisely. You don't want to trade throws with a judo player, especially when wearing a kimono, even though this guy's not wearing a shirt. In other matches I have on here, the judo player just gets a hold of their pants or their belt or whatever and sends them flying, you know? So, you know, when you're fighting someone in a tournament, you want to exploit their weaknesses, you know what I mean? And I don't want to say that, you know, passing guard doesn't exist in judo. It does, but judo versus judo is not highly complicated guard passes. You know what I mean? Anyway, you can see here the judo player has a hold of the belt the guy's wearing, that red belt. And, oh, look at that. Looks like the judo player pulled guard. Good Lord. You see, you know, if you live long enough, you see everything, I suppose. Anyway, he's played right into the hands of the jiu-jitsu player now, who is, you know, very familiar with how to open and pass guard. That's one of the first things you learn, if not the first thing you learn, depending on the jiu-jitsu class. And you can hear the Brazilian guy, you know, shouting advice. It's funny, one of the things about doing groundwork with a judo player, because in judo, a referee will stand you up after a few seconds. Judo players on the ground are very explosive, you know? Like, the way they escape from hold downs is explosive, and their transitions are explosive, much more so than a jiu-jitsu player. Because in jiu-jitsu, once you go to the ground, you have all the time, well, generally, compared to judo, you have all the time in the world. You know what I mean? So jiu-jitsu groundwork is a lot more flowy, while judo groundwork is a lot more sudden, so to speak. You know what I mean? You saw it there. The jiu-jitsu guy managed to open the guard of the judo player and was starting to pass, and the judo guy just, see, he's doing it again. You know, you flip and stuff. Flip and twist and do anything you can, because, you know, in judo, I mean, you can lose by osaikomi, and you get pinned even from side control, north-south, mount, knee on belly. This judo player's got a pretty good guard, actually, for a judo guy. Surprised he's not standing up now. Maybe he's done a little jiu-jitsu himself. Look at that. Maybe he's done both. I mean, here where they are now in the corner, the referee should stop them and move them back to the middle and start them in the same position, but Lord knows what the rules are here, and even the referee is probably wondering what he should do in this instance. You know what I mean? Yeah. And bear in mind that, you know, this isn't IBJJF rules. There's other events where you just let them go. Like in ADCC, if they go off the mat, you just let them go. They can roll through the, you know, roll out into the parking lot, onto the highway. NAGA is kind of the same way too. Now they've clearly gone off the mat. The referee's going to put them back in the middle. Probably he's going to start them standing, based on what we've seen previously. You know? But we'll see. We will see. Yep. I remember once I was at a NAGA event some time ago, and the competitors from the adjacent mat, the competitors from the next mat, came onto our mat, and the referee came and he pushed my competitor. I wasn't the referee, I was a coach, but he pushed the referee from mat 1 came onto mat 2 and pushed my competitor so that his competitors could continue to, like, you know, grapple with one another. I thought that was probably the craziest thing I've ever seen in MMA. I mean, in martial arts, you know. Anyway, these two guys are... You can hear the Brazilian yelling and pull his leg, pull, pull, pull. You know, because single legs don't exist in Judo, never have, because in all the throws in Judo are supposed to be clean, crisp, one movement takedowns, and singles are hopping, 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 you know. Yeah. The Judo player's sprawling here. Looks like he's looking for some kind of choke here, an anaconda or a darce or whatever. You know, that one? I wonder if the referee's going to stand them up again. Probably the referee's going to stand them again. There they are. Yep. Yep. So anyway, the moral of the story is if you're fighting a Judo player, even in a no-gi situation, don't trade throws with them. That's silly. Most of Judo is throwing, you know? You want to either pull guard or do a throw that doesn't exist in Judo, such as single leg takedown, you know? And then, you know, when you're doing that stuff, beware of what... When you're shooting a single, maybe they're going to throw you with sumigaeshi, maybe they throw you with uchimata. Same thing with a double, you know. You can hear the guys here yelling uchimata, uchimata, you know. You know. Generally, when against a Judo player, what you want to do is pull guard and then pursue an arm drag and then take their back, because in Judo, you don't get back points for putting the hooks in. If they're on their belly and spread out or whatever, the referee just stands them up again. So when you're fighting a high-level Judo player, you want to basically pull guard, pursue an arm drag, and then take their back. And then they're pretty good at defending their back, so just collect the 4 and then attack. You know, if an arm lock or choke is there, great. If not, you're going to win based on the 4. That's my advice for fighting high-level Judo players, you know? And I've given that advice to people against high-level Judo players, and they've used that to win. So, you know? Oh, look, they award it to the jiu-jitsu guy. There you go. Anyway, questions, comments, write it in the thing below. See you next time.